Right, welcome everybody to the final episode of Love Island Cast Australia. I'm Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
G'day, Chris, and I have to say, I'm a bit emotional.
Yeah,
it's all over.
I'm emotional for two things, David. I'm emotional because we had a bit of the families today, and I'm also emotional because it's the last episode, and I'm also emotional because I'm fucking so pleased, my friend. So.
It's funny, isn't it? I mean, we've done this 3 times now, and it gets to this point, and it's like a bell curve, isn't it? You know, all the drama and everything, it's all kind of in the middle, and that's the most entertaining bit. That's when we just can't wait to jump on the phone. But then it gets to this bit, and you're left with pretty much the most boring couples, it seems, and then it's like one or the other, and it's like, yeah. Do I really have skin in that game? I'm not sure, but I mean, what took your eye? So we've got a couple of episodes to cover, haven't we? We had the dates episode yesterday,
Yeah,
and then we had Meet the Parents today. Anything catch your eye from the dates?
Yeah, well, first things first, I will say, as you say about what we've done before, my observation is I know full well, we know we both have that sort of podcast fatigue because we have various podcasts going. We love it. We love chatting to each other. We chat to each other even when we're not podcasting. You know, it's a running joke with Sam, and I'm sure it is with your girlfriend, Dave, that we are constantly chatting, texting, everything. But you know full well, as much as we're glad we're at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel has come and we're going to get a break, midweek next week, there's going to be a text go down by me or you like, I'm missing out podcasting every day. As much as I know the last couple of weeks we haven't done every single day it's been on because we've got life, haven't we? We've got jobs and stuff, so it's difficult to cram it all in. We always watch it. It's just getting and sitting down and recording. But no, I love it. I love the Love Island stuff. I loved everything. I do think Temptation Island could be next, Dave, but that could be a little one-off podcast because it's not like it's on every night. So once I've converted you.
Should we do the Love Island cast does Temptation Island?
I think so, Dave. And we could probably do that in 2 or 3 episodes, to be fair, because it's season 1, we could go back, and I've only just watched that, so it'd be easy for us to do that. And then season 2, I've not even started. So, yeah. And they're only 10, 11 episodes, so they're not like Love Island.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's probably an opportune moment to read out a tweet. So we got from Susan across at Geek Girl Soup. I know we had a message from her last season when the US season was on, and she was catching up on all the previous seasons on Hulu. And she tweeted us last night. It says, "Help me, Love Island cast. You're my only hope." I'm suffering from Love Island fatigue, but get this: 5 UK seasons, 1 US, and Australia season 2 updates on YouTube. Australia season 1 has just come to Hulu in the US. So glad I don't have time to watch it. Well, I have to say, you know, Chris, as the super fan, I don't even think you've gorged quite that much on Love Island in one go. And I do think because they don't change the format, I don't think it doesn't lend itself to having a global audience necessarily, does it?
No.
Because they do all of the same things, and because you get different people in it, you know, you get entertainment through the drama and what have you. But I must admit, this season, you know, 3rd this year, like we say, it's kind of like when it's Meet the Parents, when it's the classic dates, it's like, oh, can we just get to the end now?
Yeah, and the baby thing tipped me over the edge big time because, I mean, that's not something that's just coming this year, Dave. That's been in a couple of seasons of Love Island UK. And to be fair, they've shortened it because everyone kicks off about it. I don't know whether they get a backhander or something, and it's something that has to be put in the contract. They've got to have this sort of responsible person day where they try and make them act like normal human beings and stuff. But in the UK one, Dave, I could be wrong, but I'm sure it was a couple of days this went on for, and they're not sleeping or anything because the babies are fucking crying. So, and it's awful to watch. It's just a proper grind. And I know we only get an hour snippets either side, but it really is a grind to sort of show any enthusiasm. And I dread to think what those guys are going through, and they maybe have the baby for 6-7 hours in that the villa, because I don't know. It's a very, very strange challenge. I don't
Let me tell
actually.
you, Chris, as a parent 3 times over, they don't fucking have a clue what they're going through because
No.
for even 1 or 2 days, it's fucking nothing. So every time I see them going, oh, I'm so tired, fuck off. Get
Yeah.
a real one.
Yeah, Dave. I mean, obviously, I've not been 3 times. I've been 1, and I remember those heady days. Luckily, my daughter's 19 now, so I'm actually the child of the house, as my wife and Jordan actually tell me. So it's it's interesting because you're so right. I was a bit sneezing. Sorry. You're so right, Dave. They haven't got a fucking clue. Not one clue what they're going on about. So it's just a weird challenge for me. It really does seem strange. Now, Dave, you did ask for an observation. And the one thing I took out of this whole episode was there is not a cat in hell's chance that Cartier's dad is not going to say to Matt, if you fuck with my daughter, you're going under that patio, son, because he did not look at all one bit interested in Matt at all, did he?
Well, and again, we've just said as fathers of daughters ourselves, I think you can kind of empathize with him and where he's coming from. So when we going back to yesterday's episode, Cartier, I do have to say, when Matt starts crying, it's like it triggers something in me to go, oh, for fuck's sake,
Yeah.
get over yourself. I don't know what it is, but when Cartier starts to break down, there's something authentic and genuine about it, and it fucking has me going then.
Yeah.
So she did it last night, and she did it tonight as well, and it just set me off a bit both times. But she was saying to Matt, about her dad's worked his arse off. Sounds like he's a single dad. Works his beans off to send them all to private school. And again, putting myself in that position, I was thinking, yeah, you would, to do that on your own, you would have to work your nuts off. I bet he's so fucking proud she's on Love Island.
I was going to go, yeah, okay, Dave, thinking, I don't really think that, Dave. But now you've given me the pause, I realise the irony in that comment. But
yeah.
Yes, I agree.
I just think he probably had higher hopes for them to go on to Love Island. But I can absolutely see why he's a bit standoffish because Matt, I can't see him. If Matt was with my daughter, I wouldn't be that trusting, because of the way he's flitted from girl to girl. With all of that said, I don't actually think they make a bad couple. And the reason is they're both quite emotionally needy.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of works for them. It works for them until it doesn't work for them, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I don't think there's a long relationship in there, but there's something that could go for a few years probably.
Yeah, I agree. I think what's funny was she's like, "Oh, do you like him then, Dad?" He just like puts his thumbs up as if to say, "Yes, of course I do, darling daughter." I don't buy any of what Matt was doing. It looked so insincere. And when his mum come on, Matt's mum and his sister, and she's like, "All right, sunshine," and I've just done a Cockney accent. I can only apologise.
All right, geezer.
All right, my son, you're right. That's fucking terrible. I'll never be an impressionist, Dave. Never. So, even then, and he did the old tears. There was fuck all coming out, really, Dave. I wasn't really buying into any of that at all with him. And like I say, he looked so insincere towards Cartier and the brothers. He really, really did. No, not for me at all. I'd be very surprised if they say out the month, to be honest.
Well, I'll have a gentleman's bet with you.
Okay.
I think they could go for a little bit longer. Like I say, because of that emotional neediness that they both have. But
let's keep our ears to the ground, Dave. I reckon he'll definitely be going up to the 110, 120 mark of his conquests pretty soon. To be honest,
when he was saying he needed to finish off some relationships, before before they carry on, I genuinely thought he was talking about like Vanessa and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking hell, really? You know, you're going to do this right before, but no. I thought it was, a nice little move. I thought it was cheesy as when they were going back through the little clips and stuff. It was so forced when he was trying to get out of the friend zone, and he's like, "I see you."
Yeah.
It's just, it was so cringeworthy.
No, it is. I think you're right. And you know what's really bad? I don't believe Matt and Cartier are a real couple as such. I think she does, but I just don't believe him at all. I don't at all agree with any of his intentions towards her, other than the fact that he got to the final and he got to the last two. But Cynthia and Aaron and Luke and Anna all seem very, very genuine, as in they will seek something outside. I mean, Aaron opened up on yesterday's episode about losing his father, didn't he? You know, and it got me a little bit that day. I'll be honest with you. I did feel sorry for the lad. I think it's the first time I've actually thought he's been genuine. I really did feel for him.
So, not to cut across you there, but I wasn't sure about that, and I don't know if it's because I've maybe built up this prejudice with Aaron that I just don't really trust him. And when he said that, I thought that's very interesting. That on the eve of the final, when the votes are coming in,
yeah, I didn't think of that.
that's when you choose to drop that.
Mm.
That seemed odd timing for me.
You know what, Dave?
I didn't buy it, to be honest.
And yeah,
if it's true, and you know, if it is true, then obviously that is a terrible thing. But you know what, Chris, if your dad had passed away just before you went onto this show, and you just, in that week before, I imagine it's quite manic and everything anyway, to getting everything ready and what have you. So I just don't think you'd be able to hold it together. He seemed to hold it all together quite well. So again, it could all be true, but I just thought it was a bit tactical for me.
You've done me there, Dave, because I'm usually on the reality bullshitter meter, and I didn't even think of it from that point of view at all. I got sucked into the story, and it takes a lot with these shows for me to be invested in it. So I hope to God he's telling the truth, because that's a hell of a thing to use as a bit of leverage to try and get through the final. I just can't see that, Dave. But I think there's been worse things happen on reality shows, Dave. Fucking trust me with people. They fucking sell the soul to the devil if it means they're going to win something or get in the OK magazine or something. So you never know. But what I was getting at as well, Dave, is so you've got these four people who are actually a couple, Cynthia, Aaron, Anna and Luke, and they're genuine and they're all loved up and everything. But watching it on TV as part of this show, they are boring as fuck, aren't they? Let's be honest. It's boring watching them tell each other how much they love them and stuff. It's nice that they found love and all that crap, but there's just no drama. And I think that's the problem, I think, with maybe the format of Love Island, like you said, the fatigue. The people, I mean, the UK one was proper bullshit, because there's no way that Greg and Amber should have won that. It was absolute farce that. He was the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He came on at the 92nd minute, won it all, took his medal and went home, and then obviously it was absolute farce. He'd only been in the show less than a week. But that was a little bit controversial. But again, this is just for me, it's great viewing, and I'm dying. I'm like, go on, give us something. But it just became too nice. And like I say, I think it's careful what you wish for. The people I didn't want in the villa, I was sort of towards the last couple of episodes thinking, we're just dying out for Owen and one of these fucking bullshit speech or one of his manoeuvres or something, or Cassie giving it some. I said it the other day, and I just felt that, unfortunately, they sort of left at the right time. But what they brought to the villa was actually not bad TV, because it brought a lot of buzz and a lot of discussion between us and on social media.
I do have to ask though, because we've been through, in this last 6 months or whatever, the UK, the US, and Australia. You've seen all the previous seasons as well. All the seasons, it's been fairly dull couples who've won it. And it just has me question, what are we looking for in the winning couple? Because surely to kind of to win it, you kind of have to be a bit boring.
Yeah.
I just in any of the other seasons, has it been like a fiery couple with loads of drama, or I just think that the
Um,
nature of the show, by the time you get to the last few couples, they've got to be a bit loved up or act like it, and that doesn't make for entertaining TV.
no, I'm trying to think back to the UK ones. Like, I think I can't think of a name, but I'm sure the guy was called John who won the first one, ended up on Only Ways Essex. And then the second season, I think, was Katie and Scott Thomas, who's the boyfriend of Ryan Thomas, who was on Coronation Street, Dave Jason Grimsdale. He's actually just been on Coach Trip with that Vicky Patterson, who won I'm a Celebrity a couple of years ago, the Geordie girl. But I think they won it, Katie and
It's like
Scott.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, this.
No, sorry, I know. Yeah, it's Ferris Bueller, isn't it? His boyfriend's girlfriend's sister knows this guy who knows this girl. Yeah, so I'm trying to. You won't know you have a clue who any of these people are, but they were a little bit fiery as couples, and they won it. I think you're probably stumbling on some of their Dave. They sort of weed out everyone, and the ones who are quite vanilla sort of just peter over the finish line. I mean, look at the US one. There was nothing really controversial about the whole series. There was only the cowboy, what was he called, who was a bit of Western. He was a bit of a flip-flop merchant who we both didn't like towards the end. He was a really strange character.
But you look at it, and it's like Zach and Elizabeth, really cute couple. But once you've seen him on screen for like 4 weeks, you're like, right, I'm fucking bored of this now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I just think the nature of it. I do think I've seen a few tweets going out that some people aren't very happy that this boring couple have won it, but I just think it's always going to be a pretty boring couple, and I think they're the most deserving. I think it'd have been a bit of injustice if Matt and Cartier had won it, to be honest.
Yeah, but again, Dave, Matt and Cartier is very similar to Greg and Amber, as I've just mentioned. All right, Matt's been in it from the start, but they became a couple by default because Michael fucked about, didn't he, with Amber, telling her, binned off that other girl, and then tried to get back with her, and she binned him off, to be fair. But his big respect. Amber actually won that whole series because she didn't stand for his shit, and he thought, and everyone thought they were back on, and she fucked him off, and I think that's what swayed the audience. And who's laughing now? He's going into... sorry, go on.
I was going to say, Amber won it. She was an interesting character, wasn't she? She didn't stand for any shit, but she won it though because Michael was a complete dick to her, and Greg wasn't.
Exactly.
Greg was really nice to her, and it was just that perfect storm, and that was why they kind of went through and won it there.
Now, Dave, there would have been a riot if fucking Anna had won it. Let's be honest. Now, come on. Our good friend. Bye.
Been on this podcast with her old fucking gangster fingers.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'd have been canvassing outside the villa for her not to win. I hated her. Oh, she's horrible, horrible person. But Dave, to coincide with what we've just discussed, we have had another email. And I've got to say, we've had some fantastic emails off a lot of our listeners this series. Thank you, guys. We both love receiving them. But the one we've received now is probably the best name anybody has got, Dave, that we've received. Now, it's come from the US, and this person's name is fantastic. Hennessy Green, Dave. What a name that is. I thought it was an absolute belting name. And he simply says, Love Island, Australia. Hello, guys. Another great podcast. So glad I found you guys. You make the show worth watching. I'm in the States, so I listen to your podcast on the way home from work, and I always have a laugh. Thanks for reading my tweets on air. Two things. Number one, most of these reality shows get boring as they near the end of the run. The will they or won't they pie them off factor is the main reason for watching. At the end, it almost never happens. When they announce that no new singles are coming in, these shows, in brackets, Love Island, Bachelor in Paradise, etc., are all horrible. The one exception is Temptation Island. And Chris, if you think season 1 of Temptation Island is crazy, season 2 is a veritable threesome by the 3rd episode of the season. Well, Dave, it's definitely on my recording list. And number 2, as far as what to watch next, other than the glorious train wreck that is Temptation Island, I think you should give the old seasons of Bachelor in Paradise or Bachelor Pad a look. Both are very similar to Love Island. They both have the wow factor when it comes to the relationship drama without losing steam at the end. Thank you, Hennessy Green. So I think that's a great email, Dave. And also, it just show that I definitely need to start watching the second season of Temptation Island.
Well, I've got a bit of a backlog of things that I want to watch that are not reality based, so I'm going to plow through those first. But I'm not sure, I'm sure. Well, I am sure you will keep trying to grind me down as you feed me tidbits about, oh, this happened, that happened, and I'll end up getting sucked in as the Godfather.
Now, just before we go, I do actually have an announcement, Dave, that you don't know about, and it's not really an announcement, but as you know, I have done a bush tucker trial in my time. In 2010, I won a trip to Australia. My wonderful wife wanted to go. I couldn't afford it. And there was a local radio station in Manchester called Key 103, had a competition on. And what you had to do, Dave, was go up against 4 people and eat witchetty grubs, mealworms, locusts, live locusts, I might add. And the final was had to eat 2 eyeballs. Obviously, we didn't pull them out of whatever eye they come out of, but I had to eat 2 eyeballs. And I did win the trip to Australia, Dave. And with I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here coming on, Dave, it's only right that we announce that we are not doing a podcast on that show and we will just be watching from the comfort of our homes. So, I could hear the huffing.
Or a glass of wine.
But if anybody would like to email me personally on the loveislandcast@gmail.com, I'll tell you exactly what it was like eating eyeballs, because it was like a rubber ball and there was just water in the middle. And Dave, at that point, I'm going to leave all of you and say, it's been a great ride, my friend. I've suckered you in, and you better get back, recharge them batteries, because in 7 weeks' time, we start again with the Love Island UK, my friend. Goodbye.
See you next time. 7 weeks.